It's that time again, Nez Nation. It's office hours with yours truly. You can ask me anything you want about how to advance your career, how to start and grow and scale your very own online business, how to make money on this thing called the internet. Make sure you come on back. Hello. Welcome, Nez Nation, to another episode of Nez Nation Live with yours truly. I feel like a radio DJ right now. I'm super pumped to see you guys. I hope you're all doing fantastic. I hope you're doing really, really well. If you're new to this show, I am your personal branding coach, Professor Nez. I have been teaching communications, being a professional speaker, running businesses. For over 2 decades, I've been in this space, and I just absolutely love coming every single Sunday, hanging out with you guys, office hours, and really just having a great conversation. And so I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. Leave your questions in the comments down below. Most of you guys know the name of the game. And also, please make sure that you smash that smash button, aka the like button, and share this out because y'all know sharing is caring. Great to see you, Joe. Gary Cantrell in the house. How are you doing, Gary? Gauging Gadgets in the house. I love it. I absolutely love it. Great to see you guys. Make sure that you share this out and hit that like button. Before we get started, I do have a question that I'm going to answer from somebody on Instagram named Vector, and I met him on Clubhouse. And gosh, I know a lot of you guys know this. I know a lot of you guys are experiencing the same thing that I am, which is just amazing connections and amazing growth. And not even growth. Growth isn't even the right word. Just really meeting cool people on this app called Clubhouse. And I was in a room yesterday with some live video masters, and it was just absolutely a thrill and a joy. And the reason I bring that up is because this first question from Vector was somebody who was watching me or hanging out with us in a room on Clubhouse and asked this question. I told him about our live show. And he asked this question, and I'm going to get to your question too. And I also want to make sure, hey, Brian is in the house. Good to see you, sir. Welcome to Nez Nation Live Office Hours, where you get to ask me anything. Leave your question if you have any questions in the comments down below. I just absolutely love hanging out with you guys every single Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And before we get started, because I get this all the time, and people ask me, Nez, your setup looks so cool. I love that you can bring people's comments up on the screen, and you've got all these different banners and different ticket tapers. What platform, what software are you using? Well, before I tell you, I just have to say this. I have been live streaming for over 5+ years, over 1,000 broadcasts. I started on Periscope. Periscope is about to basically disband and discontinue come March 31st. I'm not even going live on Periscope anymore. I'm just seeing zero engagement. I think that whole platform, it's really sad because I got my start on Periscope. Early adopter of LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. I've tried everything. I mean, Ecamm, OBS, whatever platform, Switcher Studio, Fire Talk. I've pretty much tried everything in the book, and I have decided that my go-to CRM, my go-to software, which is browser-based, by the way, nothing to download, is StreamYard. I'm happy to be a partner of theirs. And because I believe in this product so much, it is the software that I use personally. And if you're interested, if you're like, Nez, I want to try this out, well, guess what? I have a link in the description down below where you can get a free trial, just a free trial. Try it out. And if you like it, fantastic. You can continue. If not, you can cancel it. It's very, very simple. And so I have a link in the description down below if you are interested in that. Okay, so StreamYard, that is the platform that I use personally. It is my go-to platform. There's nothing else that I use, and I've used them all. I've used them all. Trust me, I've used them all. Yeah, absolutely. Joe was in that room. It was a fantastic room. I was just super, super excited by that room. It was so much fun. It's just really a great app. It's really, I know Gary's been on it a lot. I know Brian. I met Brian on Clubhouse, and he's in the chat right now, Bri. And so just super, super awesome. Great to see you, Gauging Gadgets. Welcome. Make sure you smash that smash button and share this out, because y'all know sharing is caring. Don't forget too, we've got our podcast as well. And some of you guys might be listening to this on the podcast, which would be a replay at this juncture. And podcast listeners, we want to see you here live. So we would love to have you here live. If you're listening to this right now in your eardrums and you're driving, you're walking your dog, or you're hanging out at home doing chores, and you're listening to my voice on your favorite podcast player, whether it's Spotify, Apple, what have you, I would love to see you here. If you can make it on Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on my YouTube channel, come on by and hang out with us. We would love to have you here, okay, podcast listeners? And for those of you who are watching live right now and hanging out with us right now, or maybe watching this on YouTube on the replay, make sure you go subscribe to our podcast. It's the #1 rated personal branding podcast. We have over 107 plus 5-star reviews on Apple. Spotify, we're in the top 10 search for personal branding. And so, hey, you got to go check out the podcast. You can get all this stuff for free. It's like having a free university in your eardrums. I mean, it's just fantastic. And so, Luis Vega in the house, Mr. Camera Junkie. Yeah, you know what? I finally did it. My wife was a little bit mad at me, but I couldn't take it anymore, man. My hair was just getting out of control. I literally looked like a Neanderthal walking around the house, and every time I saw a mirror, I thought I was being attacked by a caveman. And it's bad when you scare yourself. I mean, I'm not one of these dudes who spends a lot of time looking in the mirror, especially these days, because I put on a few LBs. But let me tell you something. It was getting scary, Luis. And so I had to do it. I probably shouldn't have done it, but I had to do it because it was just getting out of control. It was Caveman Nez. Way too long. And so I finally got the haircut. I wore 2 masks, and my guy, who I've been going to for like 15 years, my guy actually, they had really, really great measures in place. They had partitions, they had masks, they had both doors open. So they have like a front entrance, and then they have a back entrance, and both doors were open. And so they had a great airflow too. So I just said, you know what, this is great. I mean, I scoped the place out obviously first, and because it's only first come, first serve, you can't set appointments. And it worked out okay. Hopefully I won't die tomorrow. So absolutely excited. I feel so fresh and so clean. And I love the way my head feels. I mean, it was getting out of control. I don't think I had a haircut for at least 6 months. Maybe even longer. George Fisher in the house. How are you doing, George Fisher? Good to see you, George. Make sure you share this out, please, if you don't mind. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Great to have you here. Oh, wow. Fantastic. George says he got the vaccine this week. Oh, good for you. Now, George, I know you're in my area, right? You're in Southern California. Did you happen to get it at Soka University? Because I know they're doing that. My dad has an appointment today at noon. Congratulations, and I'd love to hear updates on how you feel and how everything's going with that. Because I truly feel that the closer we get to normality, the faster we get everybody vaccinated, the closer we can get to normality. Gauging Gadget says, G squared says, I've decided to let my hair grow and donate it. Fantastic. If you can get some, that's not a bad idea, actually. I don't know. What do they do with, who wants my hair? Who wants old hair? Do people really do that? I guess toupee companies, wig companies, that's interesting. That's a good idea, Gauging Gadgets. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so you know what to do. If you have any questions for us, and here's the cool thing about coming to a Nez Nation Live, is that you don't just get me, Nez. You get an amazing, unbelievably smart, intelligent, talented community here, bringing more humanness to this digitalness. Luis, Gary, Joe, you got professionals, executives, you've got George Fisher. I mean, this is an amazing community. We got more people probably coming on the way. Brian, amazing individuals. UCI, okay, very cool. Amazing individuals who, I may be the facilitator. It may be deigned Nez Nation, but this is a community. And I want to emphasize community. We're all in this together. There's no such thing as a know-it-all. There's no such thing as a guru here. We're all here to help each other. Even though I've been doing this for over 2 decades, I love learning from you. I love being inspired from you. Something I tell my students all the time. I feel I can learn just as much from you as hopefully you can get from me, because it is definitely a two-way street. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I don't know if he or she is here yet, but the first question that we have came from Instagram, from Vector. And I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I don't know if that's his handle. He had a longer handle, but I'm just calling him Vector for short. So Vector, this is for you. You came to me on Instagram and said, Nez, answer my question. I would love for you to answer my question. This is for you. And Vector says, and I'd love your help here, Nez Nation. I'm going to give you my thoughts, but I'd love your help. How can I overcome past bad memories and keep a beautiful friendship? And so Vector, I had kind of a little bit more of a conversation with Vector. And George, I'm sure George could chime in here. I would love to hear your thoughts, George. So Vector was somebody who was talking about how, and I don't know, I think it's a he. He says he has a best friend, and he absolutely loves her. And but sometimes I guess they get into arguments or they get into fights or what have you. And because he keeps thinking about past memories and letting that impede him. And what you're touching upon here, Vector, is really a big problem that can really, I think, hopefully help a lot of people and inspire a lot of people. Because I think everybody has this. As human beings, every future experience or every expectation that we have is usually conditioned or tainted by a past experience, relationships, jobs, pretty much you name it, anything, meetings, interviews, client calls, client meetings, business deals, everything has the potential to be polluted by past experiences. And so the way that I handle this and the way that I deal with this is I really, really try hard to stay in the present moment. And anytime that thought comes that, oh, wait a minute, remember what happened last time you went to New York City? Remember what happened last time you got in a relationship? Remember what happened last time you did a deal like this? Whenever that thought comes, I don't give it, the time of day. You got to understand something. These are all just thoughts. And thoughts are ephemeral. Thoughts come and go. They don't mean anything unless you give them meaning. They don't have power over you unless you give them power. They can't have any sway over you unless you let them. This is something that we don't talk enough about in the universities and school with our kids. This is something that is absolutely instrumental to success. Because I can't tell you how many, I'm sure you guys, let me know in the comments down below. I'd like a hashtag me if this has ever happened to you. I can't tell you how many times, there's a new experience, a new adventure, a new relationship, a new opportunity where that age-old demon friend of yours in your head comes by and says, like you're excited about a new relationship or new opportunity or new venture or what have you. And then, here comes that past demon saying, you remember what happened last time you trusted somebody? You remember what happened last time this happened? This is just Mindset 101, y'all. So Vector, it's really important that you understand that you have the power to push aside. I see Joe, a hashtag me. You have the power to not push aside. Let me take that back. But you have the power to, control what you give attention to. Okay? And what you give attention to has power over you. So you give attention to negative thoughts have power over you. You give attention to toxic negative people in your life, they have power over you. You give attention to anything negative in your life, okay, a past experience, a memory, a trauma. And again, it's human. It's very human to have these things. There's nothing wrong with having these problems and having these issues. And number one, let me say this, you are definitely not alone. Like, you are definitely not alone. As a matter of fact, it's not something that just snap of your fingers, you're never going to have this issue again. It's something that it's a continual thing. You know, I hear people say, you know, motivation stinks. It doesn't last long. Well, neither does bathing. Okay, you got to continually do it. You know, you got to continually work on it. It takes an act of vigilance. You got to be vigilant about it. Okay, but you got to understand that once you supplant yourself in the power that you possess, there's a lot of things we don't have control over in life. A lot of things. COVID, zero control over that. You know, circumstances. I could have been born a female in Tunisia. I could have been born, whatever. There's so many I could have had different parents, a different upbringing. So many things that are out of your control. But one thing that is absolutely your sovereignty is what you give attention to. I've said this before. Pain is inevitable, y'all. As a human being, you cannot get by in this life without experiencing pain. Suffering is a choice. What's the difference? Karina, great to see you. Karina says, learning to let go of anything. Yes, I love that. Very good. Nice to see you here. Make sure you share this out with your followers because, as y'all know, sharing is caring. So please share this stream. Make sure you hit a like. Let's try to get as many people as we can here. Karina, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you. And I absolutely agree with that. Love the way you said that. There's another phrase, let go, let God. You know, just really, you know, a lot of the times we talk a lot about go, 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 hustle, 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 be aggressive. You got to be a lion. You got to be a tiger. You got to be ferocious. I disagree with that. Not all the time. Not all the time. You don't always have to do that. As a matter of fact, you'll find great power and great strength in letting go. People look at letting go as a weakness. It's not a weakness. It's understanding that you are just a speck in this thing called life. And there's so many powerful forces at work here. And it's really an exercise in humility. That's what it is. It's understanding, you know, that there's only so much you can do. And there are forces at work here that are beyond our control. I'm not saying you're an automaton. I'm not saying that you don't have power. You have amazing power, and you need to claim that power. But understand where it lies. Then you can really leverage it. It's absolutely important. My man KD in the house. Look at that. Kenneth Dunner Jr. Fantastic. Took my Pfizer, and I'm good. Second dose is for February 15th. Fantastic. Great to see you, Kenneth Dunner. Make sure, that's KD from Sugarland, Texas. That's right. I absolutely love it. So I don't know if you're here at all, Vector, but hopefully that, let me know if you're here. Watch, he's going to end up coming in like 10 minutes and be like, did you answer my question? But yeah, hopefully that helps. And we got some great people in the chat who are chiming in. Let me know if you have any questions at all about mindset, business, branding, YouTube growth, video content, content creation, content marketing, anything at all related to how to grow your impact and your income on this thing called the internet online. I am happy to help. It's so great to see you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this show for over 5 years. Now, Office Hours itself has only been about a year old, maybe a year and a half that I've been doing. But I've been doing live Q&As for a long time. But this particular show, and if you're just joining us and you're wondering, hey, Nez, what the world are you talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. This is a segment of our show called Office Hours where you can ask me anything, okay? And we go live every single Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and my Twitch channel. I don't go live on Twitter anymore. I do go live on Facebook, but primarily I think the main spots that I see the most action, or at least where I see the most value, is on YouTube and LinkedIn. So those are, I'm probably going to relegate it to two. I used to say more is more when it came to live streaming, but I think I'm going back to less is more. And so I only want to go live in places where I think I'm going to get, where I just want, where there's an audience, really. And so that's really important. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the chat down below. And let me know also if you, how you discovered this show. Did you come off my email list? Did you get a notification? Let me know in the chat if you wouldn't mind. I would really, really appreciate it. Okay, we got a question from Joe, Engaging Gadgets. Joe says, any thoughts after another week diving into Clubhouse? Yeah, absolutely. I've got tons of thoughts on Clubhouse. And let me know if you're using Clubhouse. Type a 1 in the chat if you are really getting a lot out of Clubhouse, and type a 2 if you're like, you know what, I haven't even tried it yet. Type a 1 in the chat. Everybody, give me a 1 if you've been really utilizing or getting a lot of play or usership on Clubhouse. I'd really love to answer that. Engaging Gadgets, I wanna answer your question too. Joe says, any new thoughts after another week diving into Clubhouse? Yes. It just confirms what I did a video about on my channel, Joe, that it's really important to select the right room, and it's really important to vet the information that people are giving. I've noticed, I'm going to start with the negatives, and then I'll talk about the positives, because there's plenty of positives. But I would say, hey, Viet's in the house. Viet says, I discovered you on Clubhouse. Great to see you, Viet. Fantastic. I hope I'm saying that right, Viet. I'll just call you V for now. VH in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, it's really a pleasure to see you here, VH. Make sure you smash that smash button. I'd really appreciate it, AKA the like button. There's a lot of people who are claiming to be gurus and experts. And, when you do a little bit of research, you find out I don't even understand. They don't even have a presence on the platform. And I'm going to talk about YouTube specifically. I was pretty surprised when I see people, and it's not about subscribers all the time. It's not about, but if you're going to claim that you can help grow a channel, if you're going to claim that, I'm going to hold court and proffer advice, and I go look at your channel and you haven't posted in 2 months, and you've got, maybe 10 videos up, and, it's kind of like, with me, it's like, I don't understand. Like, it's like if you go to a neurosurgeon and you have surgery, are you going to trust the guy who has been doing it longer and has actually executed and actually has results and does more than 3 surgeries a month? Or are you going to trust the guy who does 1 surgery every 6 months and, hasn't had a ton of experience? For me, I would rather have experience. And again, it's not about subscriber count, because I don't believe in that. I believe everybody has value, but it's interesting to me when I hear people talk about a certain platform, and then I just do a little bit of research and I find out, okay, you're talking about this thing specifically, but when I go look at your execution is nowhere near what you're touting. And that kind of troubles me. That makes, and we're seeing a lot of this, I think, on Clubhouse. I'm not going to get into the drama, because there's been drama and beef and some weird stuff happening with some of these, which I could care less. Some of these millionaire rooms that just drive me crazy. I don't see any value in that. But it's interesting to me. Like, I find it very surprising and shocking, to be honest. And so I think one of the things, new thoughts to answer your question, Joe, more specifically, is that, really make sure you're in the right room, and make sure that the people who are giving information, or the people who are actually, talking about suggestions and advice and tips or what have you, are actually following what they preach. Because I was kind of surprised. And this happened recently too, where I was in a couple of rooms. And then also, let's talk about some more negatives, because there's plenty of positives. And then also, I'm kind of surprised to see how it's already becoming kind of cliquey. And I've noticed a couple of people, who are quote unquote gurus or experts on a certain platform. And they're very dismissive of people who are not in their clique or in their kind of inner circle. And I mean, that's kind of, it's like that everywhere, right? It's just like that everywhere. But I was actually kind of surprised because what I found that was so beautiful and a big positive about Clubhouse was community and respect. And like I was in rooms with Luis and Viet and Joe and Bry. And, I was just getting so much value because there was mutual respect. Nobody asked how many subscribers you had. Nobody asked, there was none of this like kind of puff chest alpha kind of ego parade that you kind of see sometimes on this platform. Just a mutual respect of everybody's thoughts and everybody's opinion mattered. And we were going to treat that with respect. And we're going to try to help each other. Where I'm starting to see some people, okay, I'm not going to mention any names, but I know you guys know these people, who are like very dismissive of quote unquote small creators or people who are not in their inner circle. I found that very troubling, and I don't think that's going to work well for that individual. And so I noticed it firsthand, and I'm sure you have too. And please share down below, do you have any similar stories where you do you have any similar stories at all where you've experienced something like what I'm talking about, where you felt this, I don't want to say the word exclusion, but it didn't seem inclusive. Let's say that, where it seemed like there was, it just seemed like there was people who were like, this is my room, and I only want people that I want up here, and it's just very cliquey, very us against you kind of thing. And I found it the rooms that I love are the rooms where I find Luis and Joe and everybody really who's here in the chat, where it's just a free-for-all. And when I say free-for-all, not to say that it's disorganized, it's super organized, because rock solid mods are essential on Clubhouse. And I just found it very shocking where there seemed to be, it's already kind of happening on Clubhouse. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Yeah. Thank you, Luis. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really a pleasure. Yeah. Bryce says, sometimes you go down into rooms you were not expecting to go to. Yeah, exactly. Luis says, the people who spend all their time asking how to grow their channels would take that time to work on their channel, there would be more growth. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. That's true, Gauging Gadgets. You can tell a lot. I posted something on Twitter recently where, I was, it was kind of inspired by this question Joe just asked, where I said you can tell a lot about a person, how they treat people who they have nothing to gain from. You can tell a lot about a person. One of the things, here's a tip for a business. If you ever have a possible joint venture or some type of a business deal, or you want to hire somebody, go to lunch with them. Do an interview at lunch or do a meeting at lunch. Watch how they treat the server. Watch how they treat the waitress or the host or what have you. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they treat someone who they have nothing to gain from. It's shocking to me. And that says a lot about the content of their character. We talk a lot about content and creating content and getting advantages and more views and more subscribers and growth with our content. But how about the growth of the content of our character? We don't talk about that hardly at all. What about your inner content? Not just your outer content, your inner content. Not just your external content, your internal content. What about that? How come we never talk about that? We don't talk about that in school. We'll teach you the history of our forefathers. We'll teach you science and math. We'll teach you engineering and some form of business, which most business schools are full of it, because I've taught in business schools for 20 years. Most professors don't know anything about the real world. They've never run a business. I'll save all the suspense. If you're thinking about going to business school, don't. Invest that money in a company. Invest that money in your own business. You'll learn more as you go along than some professor pontificating who knows nothing about business, who's never ran a business, or somebody who's ran a business maybe in 1942, but has no clue about the modern digital landscape, because everything is online now. Everything is online. It's the same reason why Amazon owns the world. It's the same reason why Netflix and Prime have Hollywood running scared. Even if you're a brick and mortar business, because I'm not saying brick and mortar business is over, but it's pretty close. But a brick and mortar business needs to understand online presence. Everything's about online. It's absolutely essential. It's really, really interesting to me to see, how that plays out. And I'd be really, really curious to see that. Joe says, I spent most of the weekend and I really found power in the rooms. Yeah, it is still invite only. Are you on iOS Gauging Gadgets? I have a couple invites left. Viet says, if there are 12 mods, I leave immediately. Yes. And actually, one of the best moderators that I found is Luis. I have his YouTube channel up right now, Mr. Camera Junkie, which I love that name, by the way. I love that brand, Luis. Luis is one of the best moderators I've ever seen. And I've been in a lot of rooms. Yo, what's up, Flash in your pan? How you doing, Flash? Good to see you, Dr. Ed Marvin in the house. Make sure you hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Good to see you, Flash. But yeah, one of my favorite moderators is Luis, because Luis is extremely, extremely talented at making sure that things are organized, that the right people are getting, responses and are allowed to speak in order chronologically, and he's very respectful, and he keeps things moving. Rock solid moderators, and I think rooms where you have less than 10 people on stage, I'd say even like 8 is too much. 6 to 7 people on stage, but I've kind of contradicted myself because I've moderated rooms where I've had like 12 people on stage, and I'm not a big fan of that. Thank you so much, Karina. Karina says absolutely. That's why I don't ask too many questions. Bryce says I need to start implementing the answers. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so I was kind of shocked. Like I was kind of shocked. Yeah, thank you, Luis. I really appreciate it. Yeah, next time you have a business venture or you want to hire somebody, go to lunch with them, because I'm telling you, you can tell a lot about a person on how they treat people they have nothing to gain from. You can tell a lot about them. And believe me, I've been shocked by the way some people treat hostesses, waitresses, and bartenders. Yeah, so I always feel like it's really interesting. Yeah, there should be a college requirement to work food service for a semester before graduation. Absolutely. You could learn a lot. There should just be more, more to do with, there should be more to do with actual job experience. It's really, really important. Is Bronson in the house? I don't see Bronson. Which one's Bronson? Is Bronson Gauging Gadgets? Flash says, please, whatever you do, Nez, don't make me a mod. You got it, Flash. You ask and you shall receive. Yeah, check out Luis's channel. Luis is on fire. Absolutely. Flash, are you on Clubhouse? I don't think I've seen you yet. You might be an Android user. It's going to come to Android too. Here's some more negatives, and then I'll talk about the positives too. So there's so many positives too, by the way. I don't want to just talk about the negatives, but I think it's important to start there, because I think a lot of people have this FOMO, and let me cure your FOMO right now. It's a definite time suck, and I published a lot less videos in the last 3 weeks. I got a lot less work done in the last 3 weeks. It wasn't like I was neglecting my work, but I probably could have done a lot more, because I'm a believer in hard work and I work hard every single day. But I would say definitely, it is one of the fastest ways to be unproductive, Clubhouse, because it is addictive, and you will get in a room, and the next thing you know, it's Thursday. Like literally, it can definitely suck up a lot of time. So be very, very careful. But the benefits of networking, connecting, I mean, a lot of these people in the chat, building new relationships. I don't know if I'd ever met Luis or Viet. There's a lot of people. Bri, I never would have met these people if it wasn't for Clubhouse. And I met Brian yesterday from Brian Kelly in our live stream room. We were talking about live streaming, and I think I just left when when Luis was in there, Luis Vega. Hopefully, how long did that room go, Luis? Did it go for a while longer, or did it end pretty quickly? Flash says, I'm an Android user. Yeah, they're actually working on that. Yeah, that's true. Actually, this is a great point by Flash. So Flash, Josephine, good to see you. Josephine in the house. Great to see you, Josephine. Flash just brought up a really great point. He said there's already way too many things that are counterproductive. And he's absolutely correct. I could not agree more. And so if you're already, struggling to get things done, don't get on Clubhouse because it will absolutely drain your workflow like 1,000,000,000%. It's taken, part of the reason why is that it's taken scarcity to a whole new level. It's taken scarcity to a whole new level because there is no recorded feed. Like after this live stream is over, I'm going to be able to post this on my YouTube channel and on LinkedIn. And so the replay is going to be there. I'm going to post it on my podcast. Podcast listeners, if you're listening, I love you. And so a lot of things. Hey, Sanjeev, how are you doing? Sanjeev Gupta. Great to see you, sir. Make sure that you hit that smash button, please, and share this out. I would really, really appreciate it. Tech for Your Needs in the house. Good to see you, Luis. We got 2 Luises now. Tech for Your Needs. How are you, sir? Yes, Flash says, I stopped using Discord for the same reason. Yeah, it can definitely take you away from your work. So be very, very careful about that too. Because it does create scarcity to a whole new level. There is no recording. There is no replay on Clubhouse. If you miss the room, you miss the room. And when you happen to find out that Mr. Beast and Daryl Eves are doing a Clubhouse room and you're in it, which I was, and I know a lot of people in the chat were too, which was phenomenal because Logan Paul showed up and they're like talking. It was like a fly on the wall in a business conference call. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. If you miss that, you miss that. So the creators of Clubhouse, which I know they had a town hall this morning, which I missed preparing for this show, that's amazingly powerful, creating that FOMO. I've never had FOMO like Clubhouse before in my life. And, I'm a 44-year-old dude. Who's got the mentality of a 6-year-old, though. I still got the energy of a young dude. But, I definitely... Flash says, who's Logan Paul? You're not serious, are you? Hey, Blake, good to see you. Blake, as you're coming in here, please make sure you hit that like button and share this out because as everybody here knows, sharing is caring. Now, I got another question. So just to kind of button up that, if I may, when it comes to... Yeah, I figured you did, Flash. You old varmint, you. So good to see you, Dr. Ed Marvin. Go check out Flash because if you want, if you want somebody who takes live streaming to a whole nother level, go check out Flash's channel because Flash is a phenomenal live stream with the whole gang. He's got an amazing cast of hooligans that are just full of zeal and full of fun. Yeah, Viet, that room was pretty insane. Yeah, that was absolutely insane. And Viet, is this a question? What golden nuggets regarding YouTube did you learn this week? I have some great answers to that. But I got another question. Hey, Gauging Gadgets, do you mind asking your question again? And Gauging Gadgets has a great channel too. This is what I love. This is what I love about our Nez Nation Live community. You don't just get me, y'all. You get this amazing community of creators, podcasters, live streamers, business owners, professionals, executives. I mean, holy macadamia nut. What else do you need? It's a fantastic community. I love you guys. Sanjeev says, I'm 16 years old with 38 years of experience. Yes, sir. I love you, Sanjeev. Make sure you subscribe, man. I want to see you. And if you're just joining us and you're wondering, what in the world did I stumble upon that you're watching Office Hours? with yours truly. I am your personal branding coach. We go live every single Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can ask me anything, and you also get the awesome pleasure of this amazing chat, of really getting a lot out of this chat. Okay, I'm going to get to Viet's question, and Viet, confirm for me that that was a question, because I think it was, or were you talking to somebody else? I'd love to answer that question. Bryce says, I'm not going to lie, I never knew who Mr. Beast was until you did that video about him. You know, it's interesting. I mean, Mr. Beast is probably one of the most popular YouTubers on the planet, if not the most popular YouTuber on the planet. But actually, yeah, I mean, his content can sometimes be construed as being for a much more younger audience. I mean, my son is almost going to be 9 years old, and his favorite YouTuber is Mr. Beast. My daughter is 7 years old, and her favorite YouTuber is Mr. Beast, because they watch those videos all the time. And, I think it caters to adults and kids, but probably more so for younger people. And so don't feel bad, Bri. It's absolutely relevant, and I think it's very, very true. I think a lot of people, so-called, I mean, there's still YouTubers, and I'm like, who's that? Like, who's Iraq, or who's Iraq, or who's who's Dream? I mean, these are people that I don't know that much about. I mean, I know they've created amazing followings, but I'm just everybody there's just too many out there. Okay, Nalula's in the house. Good to see you, Nalula. Make sure you smash that smash button and share this out. Okay, thank you, Viet. Okay, so let me get to Gauging Gadgets question, and then I'm going to get to Viet's question. And please, by all means, leave your questions in the comments down below, and I'm happy to get to them. And we got this amazing crew, this awesome community of the Nez Nation community, you guys, which I love, helping everybody out, facilitating the conversation. I love the chat to be just like Clubhouse. We're all in this together, right? Have you tried YouTube Stories? I don't have access yet to YouTube Stories. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers, 500,000 views on my channel, but I don't have it yet. And so when I do, I'm definitely going to try it, Gauging Gadgets, because I think that it's, as a matter of fact, I can answer this question vicariously through Sean Cannell. Sean Cannell actually talked last night in a room where we were talking about YouTube Shorts. And Alex, I forget his last name, he's a fantastic moderator too, just like Luis Vega, really keeps things organized and keeps things cooking. Sean was saying that he's getting much more action and much more success. They're doing like 8 a day of YouTube Stories. He hasn't really practiced, or he hasn't really, and actually, let me know this is a great question for the chat, and especially for Dr. Ed Marvin, but everybody, Sanjeev, Luis, Viet, Nalula, everybody, Josephine, Bry. Are you guys doing shorts? How are you doing on shorts? Are you seeing success with YouTube Shorts? And I'm going to say something about that too, because it relates to Viet's question. Let me know. Give me a hashtag me. And then also give me a hashtag me if you're creating YouTube Shorts on your channel. And then I'd also like to know what's your kind of experience been. Let me know in the chat. So put a hashtag me if you've been creating YouTube Shorts, and then I'd love for you to talk about how that experience has been going. So Gauging Gadgets, to answer your question vicariously through Sean Cannell, he's seeing major success on YouTube Stories, because it's like community management, right? Just like the community tab. Instagram stories, I get a ton of engagement on my Instagram stories. I don't even really go live anymore on Instagram. I don't really post on IGTV anymore. I hardly ever post in the feed. Really, it's all about Instagram stories. And so I'm very much so getting a ton of action, and I can't wait to get YouTube Stories. Now, I personally don't watch YouTube Stories that much, but I like watching videos. But I'm definitely going to experiment with that. Now, if you have anything you want to add, Gauging Gadgets, about your experience, I'd love to know. Luis says, I'm planning my very first YouTube short. Yes, I love that. Sanjeev says, guide us more about personal branding. Ask that question, Sanjeev, in about 5 minutes, because I want to get to Viet's question as well. Thank you so much. I'm planning my very first short. Okay, very cool. Josephine says, Shorts isn't all that to me. I've used it once, but I don't want to disrupt the viewer experience. Okay, this is going to answer your question. I have an answer to that and what Viet was saying. So Viet said, "What did you learn? About YouTube? What golden nuggets?" Here's Viet's question. What golden nuggets regarding YouTube did you learn this week? And so this is going to, I think, help Josephine, and it's going to help a lot of people, I think. And so this is the number one golden nugget. And it wasn't this week. It was more like maybe a week or two ago, where I was in Alex's room, and I forget his last name. I don't know. Luis, what's Alex's last name? You know, he moderates a lot of those shorts rooms. And so Alex advised me, he said, "Nez, create a whole new channel for YouTube Shorts. That way you're not disrupting the flow like what Josephine was talking about. And you can actually draw traffic from your main channel from Shorts and vice versa." And in some instances, he said, he's seen people's Shorts channels blow up versus their main channel. And so, and Shorts, I talked to Daryl Eves about this when he was on the Livestream podcast, which, by the way, go check out that replay. It's insanely valuable. And he said that, you know, Shorts is so brand new that it's a little bit wonky. It's a little bit weird. It's not functioning exactly. That's just the way it is. Anytime they roll out something new, a new feature, there's just like, you know, when Apple comes out with a new phone or new AirPods or whatever, there's always these learning curves and defects, right, that they got to go through. And so it's the same thing with YouTube Shorts. Scully, is that Scully? Did I just see Scully in the house? And so I created a brand new Shorts channel. And I'm very, very happy because I was losing watch time on my main channel. I did about 4 or 5 shorts on my main channel. I wasn't seeing any traction. And so I created a brand new Shorts channel, which I'm really excited about. And I've published 3 shorts on there right now. Not really getting a ton of action. I don't think they've really reached the Shorts shelf yet. But, you know, it's really, really something that I'm excited about because I love creating shorts. And I'm not going to be disrupting the flow on my main channel. And I could potentially grow that channel even bigger and larger than my main channel and still draw an audience through recommended. And you should think about this too, everybody. Draw recommended traffic and suggested traffic over to your main channel and vice versa. That is a major, major golden nugget, Viet, that I learned on Clubhouse and something that I implemented. And so I'm really, really curious, to see how that's going to work out. And I'm very, very much so looking forward to seeing that because I love creating shorts. And I think there is something to be said that vertical video may be the hottest thing in 2021, vertical video. Even on YouTube. Because Shorts, and Daryl confirmed this, you know, Shorts is just literally a response to TikTok. That's all it is. It's YouTube, you know, scared of losing that Gen Z audience, that younger audience. I mean, the youth in any product or service, the youth really perpetuates the popularity, the growth, the pervasiveness. It's usually the youth, right? That really are the kind of compass to see where things are headed. And so YouTube's response to TikTok is by creating shorts, especially when TikTok was under threat of being purchased or being banned by Donald Trump. So that is YouTube's response. And so anytime I've discovered this, being in this game for a long time. Same thing with LinkedIn, same thing with Twitter, same thing with Snapchat. Anytime a company puts out a new feature, it's really important that you pounce because they're going to put a lot of juice and a lot of R&D, and they're going to really pump that feature and try to get that feature to blow up. They wouldn't spend all that time and energy and focus on this new feature if they weren't going to promote it and if they weren't going to support it. So that's something you need to think about. If you want to grow on YouTube, okay, like Josephine says, this is a great point. But why create a new channel when it's not where my audience is? Well, you have a potential to grow a whole new audience, Josephine. But secondly, it doesn't have to be, it's a different feature. It's a different component of who you are. that is still reaching your audience, but delivering it to them in this new medium, in this new format, vertical video. And so it's just another way to grow your audience. It's not necessarily that you have to have a new audience or that you're seeking out a new audience. It's just really putting yourself in a position to say, hey, this is my shorts channel. I respect this new feature. I want to reach you. And I also have my main channel if you want to go more in depth, because shorts are 60 seconds or less. And so it's just a way of getting more traction. That's all it is. It's not necessarily that you're trying to build a new audience or that you have to grow a new audience. It's nothing like that. It's not that you're divesting or segregating your audience. It's that you're trying to get that compound interest. Nalula says, let me see. Is this a question, Nalula? Please ask that again if you don't mind. Oh, very cool. Flash says, I've made a whole new channel for short clips. Very, very cool. Love that. Yeah, thank you, Joe. This episode with Daryl was just, I'm still taking notes. I'm still taking notes on that. I've watched it like 6 times. And the nuggets that he drops, you want to talk about YouTube nuggets, go check out that interview with Daryl Eves. We were on for about an hour and 20 minutes, I think. And he just absolutely blew my brain wide open. I can't wait to get his book. Daryl Eves said the same thing. How is your shorts channel going? Are you talking to me, Luis? Are you asking me or somebody else? My shorts channel right now is very, very slow. It's nothing. I'm not like some of the people in the room yesterday were saying that they've got 600,000 views in a day or something like that. I would love to get that. And so I just started the shorts channel, so I've only posted a couple of shorts. But I'm just going to experiment. I'm going to try it out and see what happens because I love YouTube and I love creating content. I actually love creating shorts, and I can connect my microphone to my vertical phone and create shorts really easily that are high quality and edit them very fast. I could do 10 shorts in a day, I mean, if needed. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I can't wait to see that, see how that plays out. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Josephine, are you on TikTok? Because also a lot of people have been repurposing their TikTok content on YouTube Shorts, 60 seconds or less. And I know, Josephine, you have an amazing voice and you're an amazing singer. This would be this is just a no-brainer for you. Reaching more people. As I said before, anytime a platform, a company focuses on a new feature or releases a new feature, it's the same thing when LinkedIn released LinkedIn Live. I mean, I was getting tens of thousands of views on my first couple of LinkedIn Lives. Why? Because the algorithm favors new. If it's a new feature, that means they want their users to implement them. It's the same thing with YouTube. Trust me, I've gone through this a million times, and Blake gives some great advice here. Musical highlights, yeah, and just kind of snippets and clicks. It's super, super powerful. Okay, no problem, Nalula. No problem, Nalula. It was just a statement. Oh, okay, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I would say, don't even worry about doing it on your DSLR or anything like that. I just say do it on your phone. You can get 4K quality on your phone, and it's just easier, and it's easier to edit. And so I would just do it on my phone. I think it's much, much easier that way. And maybe even think about repurposing content too. Don't be afraid to repurpose content. Yeah, Flash, I think you should try shorts too. I think that would be really interesting. Flash says he likes TikTok. Yeah, you're welcome, Josephine. Absolutely. You are welcome. Jennifer Crocus Cooper in the house. How are you? Jennifer, great to see you. Welcome to Nez Nation Live Office Hours, which, by the way, if you're just joining us, you're watching Office Hours. We go live every single week. It's a live Q&A. You can ask me anything, and we've got this amazing Nez Nation community every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you click subscribe. And by the way, I have in the pinned comment on YouTube, I have the link to my shorts channel. I would love it if you'd go there and subscribe, because I'm going to be pushing out a lot more shorts content. It is in the pinned comment on this live stream on YouTube. And I also have it in the description as well. Make sure you subscribe to my shorts channel. I would absolutely love it if you do that. It would really, really mean a lot to me. talking head videos don't do as well versus more demonstration or clips with some sort of action on shorts. Okay, interesting. Interesting. That's the first I've heard of that. Thank you, Viet. I appreciate your perspective. From what I understood, that it was kind of niche agnostic, or it wasn't really dependent upon niche. It was just really about getting the content out there. But yeah, it's interesting because I would imagine it's a lot like TikTok, and talking head informational edutainment stuff like I do doesn't really perform that well on TikTok. It's more like pranks, comedy, entertainment, things like that. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But, Jessica Hatch, who was in that room yesterday, and she's the one who's getting hundreds of thousands of views on her shorts. She has a channel where it's really all about... she has a channel where it's really just all about, I think it's about pet training or some kind of a pet channel. And so, I mean, that would be kind of interesting, I guess, in a shorts. That's kind of a different niche. But yeah, Viet, that's really interesting. I'm glad to hear you say that. I like that. Joel Tav. Hi, can you please have on your channel Mr. Stephen Black? He's a marketing and consuming genius. I'm sure plenty of you audience will benefit from his knowledge. Okay, cool, Joel. I'll keep that in mind, brother. No problem. I'll keep that in mind. I'm always open to having interesting people come on who can bring value to the audience. So yeah, have them contact me, reach out to me on Instagram or DM me, and I'll check it out. No problem at all. Let's see here. I have a researcher on this week whose team was the first to discover the new COVID-19 variant in the U.S. Oh, I got to check that out. Very nice, Joe. When is that going to go live? I would love to check that out. Yeah. So what I've actually seen is, instead of lowering my watch time on my main channel, instead of even messing with the disruption of the flow, which I don't know if it really was that much of a disruption, it's more my strategy of creating a separate shorts channel. The strategy there is more that, I can have a place where I can put all my shorts, and it's consistent, and it's not something that's going to be a surprise because the very title of the channel is Professor Nez Shorts. And it could potentially build and reach a new audience that may gravitate, because shorts is short, right? It's not it's not very in depth, or you can't really go in depth on shorts. And so if an audience, a new audience, or new people, new eyeballs and earballs are saying, hey, I love this dude, Nez, I love what he talks about, I love how his energy and his style, where can I find more? That will funnel over to the main channel where they can get the long form videos and balloon that channel up as well. And so it's more of a growth strategy, and really, all strategy aside, I just love it. I'll be honest with you. It's fun. I think it's super fun to create small shorts and shorts clips. And so I'm just super, super excited about it. And I'm just going to experiment. I'm going to try different things. I'm going to try kind of talking head stuff, that I've been doing on my main channel, but also mix it up with some interesting, creative, kind of less than 60-second clips, maybe some fast tips or behind the scenes, or I don't know, something. So just to keep it interesting, it's important to experiment. Nez Nation Flash Fam, hashtag Flash Fam in the house. Eduardo, good to see you, Eduardo. Eduardo, how are you, sir? It is fantastic to see you. Let me know if you have any other questions in the chat. Please leave your questions in the comments down below. I would love. Thank you so much, Viet. I mean, and really, other nuggets of YouTube wisdom, because I've been talking a lot of YouTube, like a ton of YouTube on Clubhouse, because it's just so much fun to talk about it. The more and more, like I want to say this because this is so important. I think Clubhouse has confirmed this for me, not necessarily that I learned this as something new, but I know most of you guys know who Daniel Batal is. I think it's Batal. I might be saying that wrong. We were in a room together not that long ago. Let me know in the say a hashtag me if you know who Daniel Batal is. Is it Batal or Batal? Give me a 1 if it's Batal. Give me a 2 if it's Batal. I think he said battalion, so it's like Daniel Batal. Let me know if it's a 2. Put a number 2 if it's Batal. Put a 1 if it's Batal. And okay, it's Batal. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, it is Daniel Batal. So Daniel, we were in a room together. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, thank you. Awesome flash. Batal, Daniel Batal. So we were in a room together, and there was a lot of feedback and advice talking about search and SEO and using keyword search and using tools like vidIQ and so forth. And Daryl confirmed this as well. But what Daniel, everybody was talking about, use these keyword plugins, and it was kind of basic advice that led to search engine optimization tips. And there's nothing wrong with that. Search is a very valid traffic source. But what I learned from Daryl and Daniel, yes, Daniel, the hair of YouTube. That's right. Exactly, Luis. I love that. Yeah, the best hair on YouTube, easily the best hair on YouTube. And what Daniel said was so powerful. And I use this in my latest short, actually. Daniel said, yes, take advantage of keywords and don't worry, do your research. But he said what's really, really important, this was a huge nugget, is understanding what is the language that your audience uses when they search something. What is it that they actually are writing in the toolbar or in the search bar as a human being? Because so many people get caught up in keyword, and they just stuff their titles, and they're just not interesting titles. Like, nobody wants to click on that. And so, like, for example, if you've got it, if your keyword is, Apple M1 chip, right? And in your title, it just says Apple M1 chip, everything Apple M1 chip, learn Apple M1 chip. It's like, what? Like, and I've actually seen this. I'm not even kidding. I've seen titles exactly like that. That's not a title that anybody's going to want to click on. Okay. And I don't know if Sagi is here, but Sagi did a great video on the new Apple M1 chip. Where and I think his title was something like, really compelling, where it was, I returned the Apple MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. Here's why. And I was like, yeah, that's what somebody, who wants to potentially purchase that MacBook Pro or that brand new M1 chip installed laptop, that's what they're going to want to know. They're going, whoa. Okay, so I was just thinking about buying this. But Sagi is saying, who's somebody I met on Clubhouse, by the way. I know a lot of you guys know Sagi. And Sagi is saying, I just returned it, and here's why. And so I need to watch that. That's clickable. And so that was something that was confirmed for me, not only with Daryl Eves, who I just think probably knows more about YouTube than anybody, him and Sean Cannell, and Tim Schmoyer. I really like Tim Schmoyer a lot too. But it was also confirmed by Daniel as well. And Daniel is a philosopher. He is an artist. He's a student of YouTube, as well as a very, very amazing creator of YouTube. And so big shout out to Daniel Batal, who's just doing fantastic stuff. That's a great point, Joel. Joel says keyword stuffing, lack of human element. Yeah, you got to really think about. And this is something that Daryl covered too. If you want to grow on YouTube, the YouTube formula, which is the title of his new book, he said this, not me. He said it's really the human formula. He says he could care less about optimization and keyword and all that stuff. He said the things that grow, you got to understand, 75% of views on YouTube come from the YouTube AI recommending your content. So that's browse feature, suggested, recommended. And so what he's saying is if 75% of views, he's not discounting search, but he's saying that utilize search as a traffic source, but I want to create content, he says, that keeps them watching and gets recommended where they don't have to search for it. That's, he said, and he says, I see this time and time again. That's how you blow up on YouTube. That's how you get explosive growth. I don't think he's saying He's not saying don't focus on search. I think search is very important, but as long as it's a human search, it's human-based search. It's very, very, very important, and that's something that's been confirmed. That's very, very confirmed. Mr. Camera Junkie Luis says, one of my better performing videos is titled "How to Get Blurry Backgrounds in Photos." Yeah, exactly. That's what somebody's going to search. Somebody's literally going to be like, how do I get blurry background in photos, right? Not blurred background tips, blurred background, blurred background blurred. Like, you'll see titles like this. This isn't even exaggeration. I'm not even being hyperbolic. I will literally see titles like that where they will just stuff their title with the keywords and there's no appeal to want to click on that. So take advantage of search because yes, YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet. Yes, Google owns YouTube and Google is number one in search, but the algorithm is governed by human behavior. So if you want to beat the algorithm, you got to understand your humans. You got to understand your audience. You got to know your audience on a very deep level. And that's something that, is something that really got confirmed for me. Being in rooms with Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, Daryl Eves, Sean Cannell, Nick Nimmin, being in rooms with those guys talking about that. And, a lot of you guys know the Nimminati. I love the Nimminati. Big fist bump to Nimminati. That's been a constant, and it's just been absolutely phenomenal. And again, selecting the right rooms, right? Knowing there's a lot of rooms I will never go back in that room ever again. The way the room was orchestrated, the way that I felt other people were being treated, never going in that room ever again. If I see that individual or group of individuals, I'm never going in that room again. But, now I know, and you can only know by testing and trying out, right? Just like anything in life. So absolutely, absolutely important. Yes. Active voice. Absolutely. New photographers don't know what bokeh is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Normal people don't know what bokeh is. I didn't even know what that was until recently, for crying out loud. If you're just joining us, just a subtle reminder that you're watching Office Hours with yours truly. I am your personal branding coach, online business strategist, and we go live every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you hit that bell notification, subscribe, and click on all notifications so every time we go live, you don't miss out. You don't miss out. I want to see you guys here. That's what I want to see. And so make sure you click that bell notification. And so you are a VIP of Nez Nation. Thank you so much for being here. Does anybody else have any other questions that they'd like to ask? And by the way, I can be a facilitator. It doesn't have to be necessarily directed to me, but we can make this a part of the conversation. Does anybody else have any? Nalula, great to see you. Nalula is another one who I met on Clubhouse. It's so great to meet you. And Brian, I mean, just a lot of people, that are in this chat right now, I met through Clubhouse. Just super, super fun and just amazing, amazing people. Anybody who says, that's why I can't stand that Netflix documentary. I think that next, and I might even lose a lot of subscribers here right now. I think that Netflix documentary on, the social dilemma is just a bunch of BS. I'm so sick and tired. I watched somebody said, no, just watch it. Just give it a chance. And I tried to, and I turned it off. After 10 minutes, I'm like, this is a bunch of BS. Everybody wants to talk about how bad this thing called the internet is. Everybody thinks that Mark Zuckerberg is sitting outside your window and watching you. Nobody cares about you. Trust me when I say this. Nobody cares. Nobody is tracking you. Nobody's spying on you. It's all BS. Look at these amazing relationships. That's why my mission statement here on Nez Nation is bringing more humanness to this digitalness, because it's just a tool. That's all it is. Social media, these platforms, they're just tools. It's how you wield the tool. It's the human behind the tool that makes all the difference. I would never have met these people. I would never have met Flash. I mean, 90% of the people in this, actually maybe 100% of the people in the chat right now in our awesome Nez Nation community, I would have never met them if it wasn't for these beautiful platforms and these beautiful ways to connect with people. Now, Lula, I would never have met these people. And so I don't buy it. I just don't buy that this is all evil. Facebook is evil. YouTube is out to get you. No, they're not. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. It's all free, and it's how you wield it. And it's a matter of implementation and execution. That's all it is. It is what you make it. Thank you, Flash. Flash fam for life. Hashtag Flash fam. Good to see you, Dr. Ed. He's not really a doctor, but I just call him Dr. Ed Marvin because it sounds so good. It just sounds good. Sorry, Ed. Would love to have a Clubhouse chat on our show. Yeah. Oh, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. As a matter of fact, Miles was in the room. Miles, who's a great, and by the way, Jennifer is an amazing professional, and Dave and Miles are amazing video creators and video experts and live streamers and podcasters. And Miles was in that room, Jennifer. Miles was in that room yesterday where we were talking live streaming, and it was awesome to have him in there. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, I would send me a direct message or connect with me on Clubhouse, Jennifer. I think we might already be. And then I will absolutely just, if you want to set it up or organize it, I'm down. Viet says, Nez, I have to agree with you about Mark Wiens. My wife loves him. Oh yeah, he's like, whoa, wow, wow. Every time he takes a bite. Oh my God, my dad wants to punch him. It's so funny. Oh yeah, it's a totally, don't even watch it, Luis. And you know what's so funny is Luis, great point. I actually, I'm an open-minded dude, and I will give things a chance. And I think it was somebody in our community who said, Nez, you have to at least watch it. Just be open to it. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right. I'm going to be open about it. And I started watching it, and after 10, 15 minutes, I knew exactly where it was headed. I was just repulsed. I was like, this is garbage, and I turned it off. I couldn't watch it anymore because I knew exactly where it was headed. I knew exactly where it was going. And it's just full of bupkis. Excuse me. And so, it's totally biased. I don't buy it for 1 second. And like the dude was on Joe Rogan, the guy who directed, because I like Joe Rogan's podcast. And he make this claim that I can't believe people are using your data. These platforms are using your data, and then marketers can send advertisements to you. Well, yeah, duh. That's called life, you momo. What are you talking about? I actually, what if I actually need the product? If it's a really good marketer, they're going to serve something to me that I might need. It's a win-win situation. Nobody puts a gun to my head and says, buy this. Nobody puts a gun to your head and says, you have to vote for Donald Trump. Nobody has that power over you. I did an entire live stream on this when everybody was talking about how Facebook is manipulated. The Russians are manipulating you. Nobody's manipulating you. You are a human being who has intelligence. You can make intelligent, critical thinking choices. Nobody is forcing you to do anything. Nobody's forcing you to buy something. Nobody's forcing you to vote for anybody. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody has power over you unless you let them. That is a capital F-A-C-T fact. Yes, I just bust out the Momo. Don't get me going on this. I wasn't planning on going there. Yeah. Yeah, it's just garbage. It's just, come on, man. I give human beings more credit. I give us more credit. We have a lot more power. We have a lot more power. And I'm sick and tired of these stupid documentaries. I'm sick and tired of these leaders and these tech leaders or business leaders saying we are automatons, and that if we see an advertisement, we get hypnotized and and it's 1984. No, it's not. No, it's not. Nobody can force you to do anything unless you yourself do it, okay? And so, yeah, I actually want them to serve me advertisements that make sense to me. How else are they going to be able to serve me? It's ridiculous. Yeah, now, Lula, I completely agree. Absolutely. I don't like the big rooms. I really, the millionaire rooms, I don't even bother. I don't even bother. I mean, if it's like 200, 300 people in the room, but there's only 6 or 7 people on stage, then I'm interested, because that shows interest and that shows organization. But these rooms that have 100, I mean, there was a room, I'm not even kidding you. And maybe, yeah, rant alert. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for keeping me in check. Thank you, Joe. I need to be put in check. But yeah, like honestly, but honestly, Nalula, yeah, I was in a room, and I'm sure some of you guys were too. There was like 400 people on stage. 400 people on stage? Are you kidding me? How in the world? That's not a conversation. That's mayhem. That's a riot. That's not a conversation. And so, yeah, no. And really quickly too, Viet, if you're still in the room, let me know if you're still here, Viet. One of the things that we talked about in the live stream related to Clubhouse. One of the things that we talked about, okay, in the live stream room yesterday was, and I've seen actually people that I like and that I trust do this, and I don't think it's a good thing, but we had a conversation about using, because I love multi-streaming, obviously. I love multi-streaming. But we were talking about how some live streamers and content creators were using Clubhouse as an extra destination, right? So I'm live streaming to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn and Twitch, and I've got all the comments here and we can all engage with each other. But I could easily start a Clubhouse room and have it, live streaming there as a destination, right? I don't think that you should do that, and I'll tell you why. Because Clubhouse is what makes Clubhouse powerful is not just being in a room and listening to somebody pontificate, but it's actually being involved in the conversation. Like even Mr. Beast and Daryl were bringing people up on stage and answering questions, and other people were joining the conversation. It wasn't just them giving a YouTube masterclass. It was a conversation. And so I don't agree with using Clubhouse as just an extra stream destination. I think Clubhouse should be either an after party or after hours, like an overtime, like an extra kind of, access to the streamer or content creator. I don't think it should be used as a destination. I don't think it works like that. Yeah, can you believe that? Can you believe that, Luis? Yeah, it's a nightclub. It was ridiculous. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Flash is like, oh, yes, you do like multi-streaming. I know, Flash, you don't like it. But let me tell you something, brother. If ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox and CNN all came and said, I'm going to give you free airtime, I'm not just going to say, give me ABC. I'm going to take all of it, brother. And so I know you're not a fan of that, Flash, and that's okay. To each his own. Flash fan for life. I love you. I got nothing but love for you. But yeah, I love multi-streaming. And, sometimes I do just specific streams to YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever. But yeah, I love getting as many people in the mix because I love having, more people join the conversation, And so I have no qualms about going live in multi-destinations. Anybody else have any other questions or comments or insights or anything at all that they would like to? Yes, I completely agree, Joe. It's the post-game show, not the main production. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it should be used as an extra. And, a great incentive too. And we talked about this in the room yesterday, like maybe even having a strong call to action in the beginning and the end of your stream. Say, hey, by the way, stick around because after this, I may open up a Clubhouse room, or I will open up a Clubhouse room where we can continue the conversation and actually hang out with each other versus, me just talking in front of the camera and having you in the chat. We can actually talk, person to person, right? And so it's really interesting. Yeah, I think that would be a stronger way to use it. I wouldn't use Clubhouse as a destination. Yeah. Well, it's not that hard, Flash, to pay attention to multiple platforms. It's really, especially when you got an amazing, great segue, when you got an amazing platform like StreamYard. I've been live streaming for over 5+ years, early adopter of Periscope, Twitter Live, LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and I've tried every live stream platform on planet Earth. And so to solve that problem of attention, Flash, when you've got StreamYard, you've got all the comments right here. It's very easy. Nobody gets overlooked, and you can pay attention to everybody in one nice, organized, neat column. And so that could solve your problem, Flash. And if you want a free trial, check out the link in the description. I've tried every platform on planet Earth, named them all. I've tried them all. And this one's the best. This is the one that I use personally. So if you're interested, check that out. You get a free trial down below. Great to see you guys. I absolutely love it. Anybody else have any other questions at all to ask me? Any questions about YouTube, branding? Oh, wait, where's Sanjeev? Sanjeev had a question. Where did he go? Are you still here? I wonder if he's still here, if I can bring up his question. Let's see here. He had a question about branding. Sanjeev, guide us more about personal branding. If you could be more specific, if you're still here, Sanjeev, I have no problem answering that. Dexter says, I'll stream to the moon if they give me access. Absolutely. Why not? Absolutely. I would love that. BB in the house. BB in the house. How are you? Great to see you. Yes, will most jobs be taken over? Okay, here's a question. And Sanjeev, if you're here, I'm happy to answer your personal branding question, just if it could be a little bit more specific. Okay, BB says, will most jobs be taken over by artificial intelligence in 5 years or before the Great Reset? I feel most jobs are useless. Yeah, so this is a great question. There is, without a shadow of doubt, BB, and me being an executive career coach for LinkedIn and a business communications professor for over 20 years, I have a lot to say about this. It's all about adaptation. Yes. Are there going to be a lot of jobs taken over by artificial intelligence? Absolutely. And the kind of jobs that are going to be taken over by artificial intelligence are going to be, I think, bus drivers, things that don't require a lot of creativity. Okay. And I'm not saying, these guys are not creative, but like accounting positions, a lot of factory positions, assembly line positions, things like that are going to definitely be taken. I think it's going to happen in the very near future that Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, taxi drivers, bus drivers, things like that is going to become a completely obsolete position and job. I think that's all going to be done by AI and robots and self-driving. Now, I'm not trying to get political. I'm not trying to say that's good or bad or what have you. But it's just going to happen. It's just a fact. It's going to happen because it's going to cause major. See, every company, every business, and the government and the city, those are businesses. They need to have proper economics, right? More coming in and less going out, reducing costs and increasing profit. You would love it, Flash. You would absolutely love StreamYard, and so it's going to save a ton of money. It's going to save a ton of money for these companies, liability, benefits, health, insurance, all these things. It's going to save a ton of money to automate those positions. And so that's why it's really, really important that you learn the skills of the future. Maybe even coding. Coding could be done. I don't know. I'm not sure. Things like that where it doesn't require, coding does require some creativity, but the jobs that require critical thinking, collaboration, creative problem solving, those are the jobs that are going to be around forever. Because no matter how advanced AI gets, it's just that creative factor. The ultimate computer is the one between your two ears. It's actually the most complex instrument in the universe. The fastest computer on planet Earth, the fastest mainframe, does not come close to the amount. Like, we have 1 trillion neurons firing at light speed. For me to just do this with my hand, there's 1 million neurochemical messages going to my hand for me to just do this. It's just phenomenal. And they've never been able to replicate that. Now, they might in 100 years, but I don't think in our lifetime it's going to happen. So you're talking 5 years. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of changes. COVID has accelerated a lot of those changes. Remote work is here to stay. Camera branding skills and camera communication is something that artificial intelligence will never be able to duplicate. So presenting, communicating, selling, marketing, providing value, service, those kinds of positions. If you have great skills, if you're a content creator, live streamer, YouTube creator, what have you, these skills are going to be in high demand because there is not a business on planet Earth that can survive without having a presence on these platforms. And if you're a content creator, you can provide that service at a premium to, I'm not even talking like Fortune 500, Fortune 100, small businesses, SMBs. Your skills are in high demand. Now, I don't know what you mean by most jobs are useless. I don't know if I would agree that most jobs are useless, but I definitely agree that there's going to be a lot of changes, and there's going to be a ton of jobs that are going to carry over and be lost to automation and artificial intelligence. Absolutely, for sure. Like the jobs that I mentioned, the jobs that don't require a lot of creative intelligence, the jobs that don't require a lot of critical thinking and creative problem solving. I think those are the jobs that are most in jeopardy, like the accounting jobs. So, the kind of factory assembly line type positions, drivers, taxi drivers, bus drivers, railroad operators, pilots, commercial pilots. I think a lot of that stuff is going to be crossed over and translated and eliminated. And maybe not in the next 5 years, but it could be. 5 years is actually, maybe too long. It might happen in the next 2-3 years, or it may happen in the next 10 years, but it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. And so if you want to be more specific, are you worried, BB, about a job that you do or a specific job that you're talking about? I'd love to hear from you. Flash says, I wish they did have robotic carpenters. When it's 10 degrees, it's going to happen. Everybody's going to have a robotic assistant. Google Assistant and Alexa and Siri are just the beginning. Imagine having Siri in your house, like an actual physical, this Sophia artificial intelligence robot that they're actually, and this actually just came out, as a matter of fact. So a great segue. I don't know if you guys know about the Sophia artificial intelligence robot. Well, the company that makes Sophia, you can Google this, is planning on manufacturing thousands and thousands of her. And so think about the potentialities, the possibilities. Search and rescue, firefighters. You have these artificial intelligence robots, police officers, right? I think there's going to be a lot of jobs in jeopardy. And you know what? Black Lives Matter and a lot of the dissension amongst the law enforcement and citizens, that might be one of the first positions to go. It literally might be. If they can really, look how far we've come in the last 100 years. We didn't have 99% of the technology that we have in the last 100 years, let alone the last 20 or 30 years. Look how far we've come, right? Could you imagine? And it's just accelerating. Could you imagine the next 10, 50, 30 years? So yeah, law enforcement, firefighting, health, EMTs, paramedics, all those jobs could go. All those jobs could go to artificial intelligence in the near future. It could happen. Yep, absolutely, Flash. Flash says, yep, we're entering the age of iRobot. Absolutely. So BB, if you have is there a specific job that you're talking about that you think is useless? Let me know. I would love to know. If you're just joining us, you're watching Office Hours with yours truly, Professor Nez. We go live every single Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It is such a joy. I cannot tell you how happy I am to see you guys. Make sure that you click that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. And yes, Flash, imagine doing your live stream, Flash, both on Facebook. You don't have to go live in too many places. But imagine, Flash, doing your live stream on Facebook and YouTube, or Twitch and YouTube, because Twitch is huge for streaming, right? You can have everything organized using StreamYard. I'm not pushing you onto StreamYard. I'm just saying that it's the one that I trust, and I've used them all. I've used Restream, Ecamm, I used them all. And this is the one that I trust the most. This is the one that has given me the most ease and user friendliness. And so, I would definitely think about that, because I know you, Flash, you love live streaming, maybe more than anybody I know, and you're damn good at it. And so, doggone it, people like you. You're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you, especially Nez. And so, I think you would get a ton out of it. I really, Really do think you would get a ton out of it. Dexter says, so question, if there is a Robo Nez, does he sneeze? It wouldn't be an exact replica if he didn't, I'll tell you that much. And as a matter of fact, I have not sneezed yet. Where's Sweeney? We're missing Sweeney Dunstan. Where is Sweeney? Yeah, absolutely, Flash. The more Nez, the better, yes? Yeah, no, you're awesome, dude, and I'm absolutely proud of you. Really, really proud of you, Flash, because you have an amazing, amazing show. You're welcome, Nalula. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Still here. Josephine is still here. It's so great to see you. I'm so glad that you are still here, Josephine. If you have any questions, please let me know. We're kind of reaching the hour mark, and so, or actually, no. When did we start? Holy mackerel! We're reaching, oh gosh, we've been live for an hour and a half. Okay, so I'm going to probably wrap up here pretty soon, unless somebody has a question. Having so much fun hanging out with you guys. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure that you smash it, and I would love if you could do that. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit subscribe. Yes, Luis. Luis says StreamYard is the easy of use. It's the most, and I know you use it too, don't you, Luis? I know you use this for your live streams. So absolutely powerful. Find and Wanderer, how are you? Good to see you. You're welcome. Curious to know which platform you recommend to get started for your own personal business. What kind of business is it? And are you talking about, great to see you, Find and Wanderer. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, exactly. Karina says time flies when you're having fun. Absolutely. Thank you, Bri. I enjoy having you, man. Bri, you're such an amazing dude, man. It's been such an honor and pleasure meeting you and being friends with you. I hope to see you more and more, man. I hope to see you every Sunday, Bri. Can you be a little bit more specific? Find and Wanderer. Appreciate your time. Curious to know which platform you recommend to get started for your own personal business. Are you talking about which live stream platform or which social media platform? And also, if you don't mind, let me know a little bit more about what kind of business. Is it services? Is it products? Is it online, brick and mortar? What industry, perhaps? And I could better answer your question. I would love to answer that. So nice to have you here, Karina. I'm so glad that you're here, and it really, really means a lot to me. I appreciate your contribution and participation, and I would love to answer your question. Yes, if you're interested in trying out StreamYard for a free trial, Joe, thank you so much, Joe, my main mod. Joe just posted in, I might have to make a Camera Junkie a mod too. I'll have to talk to him in private if he really wants to. But Joe, yes, thank you so much for sharing that link. And just full disclosure, it's a free trial. It is my own personal link. I'm an affiliate of StreamYard's, but I completely believe in this product more than anything. And believe me, I have over 1,000 broadcasts on all platforms, and I've used every platform on planet Earth. And definitely, this is the best one. And I use it. I'm using it right now, for crying out loud. Find and Wanderer says, I love that name, Find and Wanderer. What a great name. Healthcare information, just to get the information out. LinkedIn, YouTube, definitely. Those two. Facebook, I think that would be really, really powerful to start. But also, it just depends on, who your audience is and who you're trying to reach. You want to really, really dig deep into, who are the people that you're trying to give the information to. But not only that, who is going to be the most receptive to the information that you're giving, and not just demographics, but psychographics. Like, what are their interests? Who are they as people? What are the challenges they face? What health challenges, problems? And how can you provide information that could be a solution? The biggest mistake people make when they're starting a business and they're starting on these platforms is they make it all about them. It can't be about you, okay? Nobody cares about you. Let's just be honest. I'm not going to really pussyfoot around here. Nobody cares about you, at least yet. Most people have a vested interest in themselves first. And so if you serve your audience and don't make it about yourself and make it all about them. And this is very surface level kind of answer, because you have a very broad question, Find and Wanderer. But definitely, that's going to be something that You want to definitely tackle that issue first, and then make sure that you have a value proposition and a purpose that can serve that audience. And then it's all about crafting a very clear message so that you can reach them. Every business is about two things: traffic and conversion. It's all about those two things. You may have the best product or service, but if you don't get traffic or foot traffic or people in your store, whether it's online or brick and mortar, it doesn't mean anything, right? So you got to know how to get that traffic, and then you have to have a compelling offer so that when you do get that traffic, you know what to do with it. A lot of people are really good at getting traffic, but they have no clue what to do with the traffic once they show up. So you got to understand how to create that compelling offer so you can actually turn it into a business. Because if you're on YouTube and you're on these different platforms and you're creating all this value, but you're not getting any sales, it's not a business, it's a hobby. And so that's really, really important to understand. I hope that helps a little bit, but I hope it does. Yes, Karina, always come back. Make sure you subscribe. If you're on LinkedIn, Karina, hit follow on my page. I think you do follow. And then follow the hashtag NezNation on LinkedIn too, and you'll never miss another live stream. Curious if you know any tutorial talking head YouTubers that are great at using open loops. You know what? No. Luis might. Luis Vega, Camera Junkie. Do you know anybody? Or maybe Joe does. I actually don't. Tough love. That's right, man. I just want to be honest, because people were telling me, yeah, just be yourself and be authentic and everything's going to be all right. You're going to make plenty of money. No, it's not true. It's just not. Like, of course you have to be yourself, but I mean, that's not enough. That's not enough. You got to understand the art and science of creating a business. You got to understand the art and science of persuasion and pathos and storytelling and narrative and how to sell. We don't teach that in school. How to sell. Because sales is not a negative thing, y'all. People think of sales as a negative connotation because people have been doing it so bad throughout the years. But sales is just one thing. It's communicating your story that would bring a mutual beneficial relationship or mutual benefit to both parties. That's it. If my story resonates with you, you're sold. I don't even have to, there's no selling going on. And don't be afraid to ask. I didn't know what open loop meant. I'd love to know give me a little bit more specific, Viet. And speaking of sales, because I'm not afraid to ask, if any of this stuff has hit you, if any of this stuff has resonated with you, and you're like, Nez, how do I go deeper? How do I go further? How do I learn how to build my personal brand? How do I monetize? How do I do what you do? Run a consulting agency from the comfort of my own home, helping clients and businesses grow their impact and income online, or whatever it is you want to do. Get health information out there and monetize that. I have got 5-star multiple award-winning courses in my academy, beyondtheboxacademy.com. These are courses that have been slashed 60%, 70%. Beyondtheboxacademy.com. There's a link in the description, or you can just go in your browser and type in beyondtheboxacademy.com. And we've got amazing 5-star multiple reviewed courses for just a couple $100. Like, some of these courses have been reduced 70%. I did that because of COVID, because I felt like I had to. And so I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Yeah, exactly. I love the way Luis says that you only have to sell yourself once. Exactly. And Nalula is completely right. 100%. Everything is pretty much sales. Everything is. I mean, even in your personal relationship, it's all about communication. I mean, that's what it's really all about. I mean, being a good content creator, live streamer, YouTuber, what have you, you have to be a good communicator. Because if I can't understand you, how in the world am I ever going to opt in? How in the world am I ever going to be a part of your community? How in the hell am I ever going to be, desirous or tempted to want to come back here and hang out with you? I need to understand you. If I'm going to be friends with you, if you want to go deep in a relationship with another human being, another individual, communication is everything. I mean, I've been married for almost 10 years. Our 10-year anniversary is coming up. If it wasn't for communication, it would have been over long ago. And so we don't talk enough about this. I'm not going to rant because I got to get going, but we don't talk enough about this in school, right? We don't talk enough about how to handle your finances. We don't talk enough about your inner game. We talk about your outer game, right? We talk about things that happened thousands of years ago. We talk about things that have nothing to do with the real world. What about your inner game? What about knowing your purpose? How to discover your purpose? And then how do you communicate that to the world? Because if you don't know how to get it across, it means goose egg, Nathan, nothing, hasta la pasta, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. I don't care how amazing you are. You don't exist. I don't care how much experience you have, how many accolades you have, what your credentials are, how many years you've been alive. If you can't communicate and hit me on a gut level what your story is and entice me to want to be a part of that narrative, it doesn't mean anything. You need to know how to communicate. That's why these skills, being a content creator, everything is contingent on how well you can communicate in your professional life. There's a quote. The Dale Carnegie Institute of Technology, 85% of your success has nothing to do with your technical expertise. 85% of your success in life has to do with your ability to communicate, your personality, your energy, and the power to tell your story. 85, I think it's 95%. I think they're being generous, but it's literally that high. It literally is. Now that's a great Clubhouse topic. Absolutely, Nalula. I'll probably do it. I should do it. Oh, thank you so much, Flash. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I hit the jackpot. I'm the luckiest dude on planet Earth. I married the most amazing human being I've ever met in my life, and she's a billion times more smarter than me, a billion times more talented than me. She could have any man ever. She could have any man. You guys know, you've seen her on Facebook. She's drop dead gorgeous, but she's got everything to back that up. And I'm the luckiest dude alive. I don't know how I got her, just pure luck. And so, yeah, I'm very, very lucky. And she also works in my business too. There's not a thumbnail. I've said this before in Clubhouse. There's not a thumbnail. There's not a copy. There's not anything on my website, an offer that I don't publish or click submit until she's seen it first. There just isn't. And so, yeah, I'm very, very lucky. Very lucky. Thank you, Josephine. Josephine, well, I can definitely hit you in your guts. Via basically a teaser to hook them to see what they want. Yeah. Do this constantly throughout their video. Yeah, absolutely. You gotta make it about them, right? And actually, really, really good point, Via. I don't know if you saw the video that I posted on my channel. Mr. Beast teaches YouTube on Clubhouse, but I took diligent notes and I did a whole video about Mr. Beast and what he said in that Clubhouse room. So if you missed the Clubhouse room, or maybe you want to just go back and hear what everything he said, Viet, go to my YouTube channel and you'll see in my videos, not that long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, I posted that video of Mr. Beast. I'm kind of proud of the thumbnail too. I like the thumbnail. And so, yeah, thank you, Joe. I'll let you give me the credit. I can't give myself the credit, but I'll let you give me the credit. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Flash. Flash says, it's because you're a great guy. Well, you're a great guy. It takes one to know one. Hey, guys, I know you're completely shocked by this, but just in case you don't know, you've been watching Office Hours with yours truly, your personal branding coach. We go live every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Hashtag AMA. And then don't forget, we also have our other segment to our show and we had Daryl Eves on, okay? We got our other, I can't point. Oh, there it is. So we have our podcast show, our interview segment of our show, where we have amazing guests that come on and offer their expertise and offer their wisdom and bringing you a ton of value. Thank you, Josephine. And so make sure you subscribe to our podcast, whether it's Spotify or Apple. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast and you won't miss a thing, especially all of these live streams get repurposed on the podcast as well. So if there's a question you missed, there's something that you want to rehash or something because the one thing I like about podcasts is you can listen to it and still do other things. And so it's really, really powerful. I'll leave links in the description down below where you can go subscribe to the podcast. If you just find that logo or just go into Spotify or Apple and actually, you know what? I might take you up on that, Joe. I do have a voiceover artist right now. But actually, you guys know him, Neil from Urban Explorer. But I do want some new ones. So, Joe, I'm definitely going to take you up on that. I'm definitely going to take you up on that. Thank you. And don't forget, if you want to become a member, we're doing private live streams for members only. Hit that join button down below on YouTube. And not only will you support the channel and support everything we do, but you'll get more access to me, almost like private coaching. My business, my consulting business, those coaching services can cost thousands of dollars. And so this is just a way for you to get more access to me, easy access to me. I already did a coaching call with Joe already, and we're going to be starting those live streams very soon. So get in there early, hit that join button so you can become a member of Nez Nation, official member of the channel, supporting the channel, and get private access to me. So consider doing that. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't tell you how much I love seeing you guys every Sunday. I can't tell you how much I love going live and hanging out with you guys. You do so much for me. Let me know if there's anything I can ever do for you. I just want to say a big, big thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, everybody. Flash, Luis, Joseph, everybody, Josephine, Nalula, Viet, everybody who's been here in the chat. There's too many people to mention. So many people. I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to you guys. I get so much out of hanging out with you guys, and I hope to God that you will click subscribe, you will hit that bell notification. Karina, everybody, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you, guys. I'll see you very, very soon. Love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.